But you must have a glimmer of hope
I
if you're
do.
doing that. So what planted that seed in you? You can see change.
I went to the Lower Columbia Diversity meeting about the drop-in center up at the college, and I noticed that there wasn't exactly a lot of the homeless community that actually showed up to that meeting, and
That's nice.
I decided that I'm going to get a
You really gotta ask.
hopefully organized group of the homeless community to be able to go to those meetings and to be able to tell them this is what we need, this is how it needs to be done, not accept them to just what they want to hand us.
And what do you want to inspire people to do?
To be able to have that voice, to be able to stick up for themselves and say, this isn't right, you can't be treating us like this, we have the rights to be able to do this, and giving them at least a little bit of hope will hopefully put this plan into motion. And with everything, with the sweeps that they've done, them trying to kick us out of everywhere, hopefully that'll kind of like kick people in the butt to be like, hey, we need to do something about this.
It seems like everybody just continually loses more and more of their rights as they're homeless for a longer period of time. So how does that happen?
I think that happens because of the fact that they definitely don't see homeless people as like the same as everybody else, I guess you could say. They see us as a lesser person, I guess. And them seeing us as lesser persons makes it to where they see that we don't have the same rights as everybody else does. Yeah, it is. It's really demeaning. One of the things that I'm going for with this organization that I'm putting together is I'm going to hopefully position for what is called a Homeless Bill of Rights here in Oregon. It is technically, it's a Bill of Rights that has been passed in a couple other different states. Oregon just does not have one. It's where a couple of the rights within that Homeless Bill of Rights petition that I got bored and I decided to look up what are the rights of a homeless person. And I found this government website. I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, but it had this article about how the other states have put this into play, and in other states there is what is called the Homeless Bill of Rights. It's pretty much where you have the right to privacy in a public space. It's just more or less of how it looks like in town and stuff, because we've been kicked out of almost every place because a lot of the not going to name any names, some of the other homeless people in the community just leave their trash, they don't pick up after themselves, they cause problems. Some of them end up getting way too drunk and causing fights, and in front of like public stores that are through town, and it looks bad on everybody else. I definitely don't see, I do see the changes with the laws that they're enforcing. Like, there's definitely not a lot of people out and about lately compared to what there used to be, because we used to have spots that we could hang out with, but now with them taking the tables out of old Safeway, nobody really hangs out there anymore, and so everybody's got to try to find a new place to go hang out.
What's the message is coming across, do you think?
They're trying to run us out of town.
I don't know how to truly answer that in one word or anything, but for one thing, you have to bring something to the table. I've got something to put on the table. You got to put something else on the table to go with it. I mean, I'll bring something to the table. You got to bring something too. I'm actually a widower. She passed away. Why do you think I'm out here now? I choose to be out here. At Buoy 10, I dumped her ashes over the side of the boat, right where she wanted to be. It was like, she was born here too. She just wanted to go home. My mom used to, before she died last year, or a year ago, or more, that's it. I really have no family here anymore. I just have my friends. I leave. Other than that, it's that story. I'm comfortable here.
Whatever you're comfortable
How did you get here, Mikey?
Oh, I got here on the police transport
Oh.
bus. They brought me here from Ontario, Oregon for a misdemeanor warrant. Then when I pulled up in here after 5 days of traveling with them, they just let me go. So now here I am, homeless.
And how long
living
has
on
that
the
been now?
street. It's been almost 2 months.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take care of it, but it just keeps nipping me in the butt.
Yeah, that you had a tough road of it, huh?
I have. It's been really rough.
Now you're stuck.
I am stuck.
Oh.
I'm stuck.
You haven't found like any organizations to help you like scoot back home or anything?
Nothing. Nothing to help with homes or
Can
anything.
you rent a motel room?
No, they won't let me rent a motel room because, when I got pulled over, the police took my driver's license and they didn't give it back to me. And now that I'm homeless, I have no address for them to mail it to me, so I haven't been able to locate it or get it.
But Mary Dotree will help you on that.
Yeah, I heard. I also heard I could get a general delivery if I can hunt it down. I don't know which department has it. Because when they gave me back my what do you call that? When you go to jail and you get your personal stuff back.
Oh, your property back.
Yeah, my property, it wasn't in there.
Wow.
It was gone. So, yeah. So, I don't know where it's at. But it's somewhere.
Have you experienced any discrimination since you've been here?
Oh my gosh, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, pretty much.
In what form?
I don't know, I just get harassed. If I'm sitting anywhere, they just come up and like, you need to move along. I hope that cigarettes you're smoking, different stuff, Yeah. It's my first time being out here on the streets, so it's been really, really weird, really rough. And I kind of blame it on them, but I don't know why. Like, I smoke pot to try to occupy my mind, type of stuff. But with my charges, I'm not allowed to drink alcohol or smoke pot, so I'm not able to do that right now until I do my court stuff, and then maybe I can pick it back up. I really don't even understand any of it. When I was here, because I lived in Seaside, I moved here from Idaho. After 40 years, I moved over here. I got into this trouble I'm in, and it's just been haunting me ever since, because when I got into that trouble over in Seaside and I got evicted from my apartment, I started getting in trouble with the police, and I got a no-contact order. Well, I tried to move to Idaho, which fell because of my lawyer that went in and talked to the judge and didn't really understand my situation, I guess. So they just thought I didn't show up. And so then I had a warrant here, and I was living in my car because it broke down over in the border of Idaho in Ontario. And I was in a place that apparently I was trespassing. So I got arrested for trespassing, and my boyfriend both. But he got out that day I got brought here. And when I got brought here, they pulled up to the police station, pulled in there, let everybody into the jail, and let me go with a conditional release. And then I became homeless, as you would call it. And here I am, waiting for court, waiting to get it over with, and trying to move on.
What do you think they're really trying to figure out?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Can you guys say anything about that? Like what they usually try, what they're looking for?
Well, I know all the APDs, so they didn't really bug me much. But they just like, there's like us folks, and then there's some crazy ass homeless folks, and so sometimes the crazy ones are nearby, but like us locals, the normal or the usual suspects, they don't bother us really. It's always the new people from like Portland or whatnot, and so that's what they're trying to find. And like I said, Mikey just got here a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago. So she was a new face, and so they had to feel her out. But they really have kind of
showing up everywhere, huh?
everywhere on you, huh? You just can't get a fair shake, can you? And you can't blame them. I mean, their industry's not fishing and logging anymore; it's tourism. You know, so they don't want to have that what they consider a sore eye. You know.
People drinking beer at the bus stop. You know.
But I think, you know, wouldn't you rather have us all like contained in an area than saying, and then we all just scatter? I mean, at least what I'd like to see, what would be like really kind of humane, is like have a pavilion with a couple like picnic tables and whatnot, and then just so if it rains, we have somewhere to go. But even not that, it could be even cheaper. Just have just like a barn rib, you know, a pavilion. Something, because when it gets wet out, I mean, we all have to huddle and stay dry, and we come here. I mean, this is job corps.
What's your thoughts about converting the jail?
I've heard about it. I'm not
I think they
familiar
have to
enough
focus
to
more on
talk
something
about.
else, not the jail. The jail's fine. You know, the jail's. I'm not going to say big
I
enough
don't-
for any of that stuff. I'm just saying they need to focus on other stuff. Like
But again,
they don't
that's
want to
Warrington
see.
too.
They don't want to see homeless people, but they don't do anything about getting a day shelter. They don't do anything about helping them get on their feet. They don't do anything about it. You know. And some of us didn't choose to be here. We just landed out here by accident.
What are you doing to retain hope?
I'm praying a lot, and I'm trying to rely on Astoria's community help.
What do you want to say to people who would never talk to you?
Don't just pass somebody by. You know, somebody might have a story you might want to hear that actually means something to you, and you can help that person. You know?
And this could happen to anybody.
I know someone's just laying there or sitting there on the sidewalk, maybe say hello and strike a conversation, because you never know what you might have in contact or how you can help that person. You know? We're all humans and we need humans, so you might be able to help somebody.
We cannot have the same laws that people behind walls have, because it's just not the same out here. It isn't like, I can't think of a law right now that pertains, but you can't live the same way as somebody does on the inside. I don't know. A lot of people really want to do something or help, but they just don't know how to reach out, or I'm not sure. I think we should have like just a general discussion, not necessarily a meeting. I used to have a honey-do list for the homeless people. Like a lot of times they didn't have like clothes for interviews or something, but I started getting really packed. But I had a notebook and one backpack for all of them, and they just fill in what they needed. And so I got really kind of good at it for myself by the time I was out. People don't communicate. Like out here, we have to communicate all the time. It seems like when you start using stuff like that, people kind of come together more. Solidarity, you know? We don't see necessarily people who are like mad about homeless people, but because I was outside or inside before, I totally see what they're saying, but they don't know why homeless people do what they do necessarily. You know, like for instance, I got kicked out of the hospital stuff. I told you that part, right? Okay, but there's a bunch of mess in there. Mind you, they do the same thing to the other people who are camping. So the camp people leave, but they're trespassed, so they can't go back in and clean the garbage. Then they get a ticket for offensive littering, and everybody's complaining that they litter everywhere, but they don't have a choice. I think the alternative is just to, if they're trying to clean it up, maybe let them clean it up. Or we need more dumpsters, though, like more garbage cans for sure. Maybe more restrooms, because I think a lot of that is bad. Because some people are just, they think it's like the biggest discrimination right now, I think, currently, is against homeless people.
If somebody could talk about like the differences between being homeless as a man and homeless as a woman.
Oh, God.
So can you say anything about that?
Well, I mean, there's obviously more threat for women than there is men. I don't know why that is, actually. But, you know, sexual predators, there's a lot more. Like, people sit in the woods and watch the girls for days and stalk. Like this last, probably 3 months ago, I had a guy from Wisconsin camp up on top of me. I didn't even know that he was there. And he ended up being wanted in Wisconsin. He got 44 years for that.
So how did you get out of that situation?
I didn't. I did not sleep at all. And I told the cops that I had a bad feeling about him. I didn't know that it was that bad. But that's common, that the boys will just like sit in the woods and watch. Like if they're single girls especially. It's really creepy.
So what do you do to protect yourself?
I practice a lot of different kinds. I'm very tough, but I like my stick fighting best.
Yeah, I don't think like ability to fight is like a gender thing.
No.
But
To protect yourself, I think. Defense. But also sleep, like that's the poopy part of it. Because if you sleep, that's when they usually get you.
well, do you ever adjust your sleep schedule around that?
I don't. I like to go to sleep around 5 in the morning because usually they're long gone. I've only had like 3 there, but that's in 2 years, so that's not really that bad. But that guy was scary. I don't really group with anybody. Sometimes I'll come in and camp at the same spot, but never in the same camp really. Well, I think if we had to move out, like they're trying to get everybody out of the city, I think then I'd probably have to camp with people, or at least close to. But this way, like if I'm in city camping, then I always like try to set my spot within 10 minutes of a person that I know. Yeah, it used to be like even 2 years ago, people were a lot more, but because the homeless, a lot of travelers come through now, and they kind of block like the locals with the travelers. The travelers can be like really destructive, and because they don't care, they're just traveling through. Say like I might have been 3 years ago, but there was a lot of like homeless regulating homeless. The crime wasn't near as what it is now, and everybody kind of helped each other. Like the community was community. They used to hang out all together, like at the certain spot, and it would change randomly. And they regulated each other. Like there wasn't a whole bunch of like crime, like stealing, like it is now. It's crazy.
Wow, they're taking away all the parks. If they fence that park that we eat lunch in and put some running water in, perfect dog park, man. Perfect. It's a perfect dog. People's Park is the perfect dog run. Put a fence up, running water.
Yeah. But
The dogs will love it.
it's also like, like I was saying, the old Safeway. It was a public park. We've been there all winter long. We kept requesting a dumpster, I mean, they don't have to give it to us, but it keeps up on the trash.
I don't see anybody listening.
Right. Okay, we asked for a dumpster. They wouldn't do shit for us. And then as soon as the Sunday market opened, they ripped out the public benches in a public park, and then they put in a dumpster. And then they run all the homeless out. And it's like, well, why couldn't you put in a dumpster in there before? That's all we're asking for. We pick up our trash, but then the city comes through and they take our brooms, they take our dustpans, they take our shovels, they take our buckets, they take our garbage cans that we use to keep our crap cleaned up with.
They kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah, and they take it all from us. So if they take all of our stuff that we use to clean up our own mess, and then there's a mess there, what are we supposed to do about it?
They don't want you there.
They don't. Why? Everybody's got to live. Everybody's got to be somewhere.
You have more right here than a lot of people coming in just to visit.
I'm not just a passerby. I've been here for years.
Yeah.
I've worked. I've paid bills here. But no. And the part that gets me is they don't want us awake at night sleeping. They don't want us sleeping at night. They want us sleeping during the day so the tourists don't see us. Well, wouldn't you rather have us sleep at night so the tourists don't see us so we're awake during the day? We're not sleeping in front of businesses or in parks during the day being an attraction for the tourists. That's how I see it. They want us to be an attraction for the tourists.
You're getting used both ways.
Yeah, we're getting railroaded from both ends.
Yeah.
And then they're using us as, oh, look at our homeless problem. See them sleeping in the parks during the day? Well, yeah, that's because they chase us around all night.
So point your finger back at you. Like, you don't do anything.
But that's because they chase us around all night.
Nobody knows that part of the story.
Yeah, and that's the part that doesn't get shown to the public. The public only gets to see what whoever wants to print or whoever wants to say about what part of that story that they want to share.
So it makes them look good.
Yeah, so it looks like, oh, we have a homeless problem. Yes, there is, but it's not as bad as they make it out to be. They make us out to be the bad people. We're not the bad people. Some people, the travelers, yeah, they are assholes and they do destroy shit and they are, but most of the main homeless people run them fuckers out of town. We handle our own shit. We don't rely on the police.
But the public isn't going to know the difference.
No, the public don't see that part, and when they do, they just sweep it under the rug.
You're just underrepresented.
Yeah,
You
there
never
goes
can have a voice.
there goes their, their statistics for the homeless being aggressive, or the homeless, tearing shit up, or most of the homeless people around here don't. We just sleep, and the cops all know who we are. They all know the main homeless people.
Yeah, they know us. They don't fucking want to go.
We're not disrupting the community by any means, and we keep our shit cleaned up, and but I don't know. They got a hard on for us. I guess that's their main goal, is to disturb the homeless every night. Run them out of places to sleep at night, so they sleep in the parks during the day. And when the boats come in and the ships come in, there's 1,000, 2,000 people here watching the homeless people sleep in the park. Oh, well, gee, we need funding to take care of the homeless. Well, okay, you need funding to take care of the homeless. How is that helping us? Do we have a day center? Do we have a place to do laundry? Do we have a place to take showers? Do we have nothing?
Choosing to live a lifestyle outside of the grid is one way to cope with that.
Oh yeah, to turn off or kind of drop out, right? Not make the decisions anymore, and just kind of be, or do whatever the day, whatever the whims of the day are. Just let them guide you, and yeah, I think definitely, because there's kids, and I don't mean children, but road kids. That's all they do. It's another Jack Kerouac kind of push or something, where the youth and it's attractive. It's actually wow, that seems like something I'd want to do. It's not as crazy of you did what? You just left your hometown with a backpack? There was a point where it's deciding or just jumping due to indecision, just to idling and not getting a job and not get enough to pay rent, and just all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just go be homeless instead of go hitchhike or live out of my van or crash on some couches until I'm finding a apartment. It's just yeah, I'm just gonna go in the woods and set up a tent that I have. Well, like I said, I could have just been kind of nudged along by indecision. I had apartment and income, and I decided to quit, which means either get another job, more income, or you don't have rent, you can't pay rent. So I knew that was coming, but it's I didn't necessarily know the whole time. Yeah, I'm just gonna go be homeless. That's the solution. It was kind of I was just kind of nudged into it. I kind of, a lot of people will say, I chose this. I'm not homeless. Home is where the heart is, and I chose this. But why are they so angry about stuff?
How much is that happening to you? People, how much anger from other people do you experience?
I'm talking about within the homeless community, just disgruntled homies, as I would say, just kind of, fuck the cops, they do this and that, they're always bothering me, and kind of the way they tell it seems like they're being victimized and stuff, but they're doing stuff that's bothering other people, so it's just kind of an ebb and flow. Something that is really cool too is I think this is another, it's kind of where the Occupy movement went, perhaps, where it's just people are kind of all right, let's just occupy our town, because they kind of squished us or scattered us. So I don't know if people are talking about it. I'm definitely not hooked onto any kind of groups or anything, but it does inherently seem like a non-activist, just I'm going to occupy my own life in my own town, and some people are braver than others, I guess. Just kind of go in the forest and maybe let parts of yourself die and be the midwife to other parts. And it kind of seems like no one's going to bother you in the forest. No one's going to say hey, tuck your shirt in or whatever it may be. But I prefer stuff like art and new things in the world instead of 3 jobs or something. But there are those homies that have 3 jobs, and I'm kind of wondering if I could ever rejoin the workforce. Someone did tell me once when I was going through the trash, he just really laid into me and was dude, you're younger than me. Come on. And I didn't even know the guy. It was luckily it was funny at that point. I think earlier, when I was doing this, it probably would have been like, I would have been a little bit more hurt, a little bit more raw, like I was being judged or something. But some people have said, like, I'm really excited to see, like, you know, you come out of this cocoon that you say you're in. Like, I'm excited, and they support it, and I do think that's judgment as well. You know, so I've kind of seen it as like judgment, whether it's bad or good. And going back to Astoria and just this place, this town, and the community, I think it is like a very weird, like old lived-in town. Like, I mean, there's the underground. There's just like so many like such strange things and quirky. There's quirkiness. So I think a certain, like a very high degree of quirkiness is like tolerated and kind of like, all right, you're doing that. Let's see where that goes. And I'm not going to stop you because that's your thing and I do my thing, and I'd hate for you to stop me doing my thing. So. But then, you know, you get the warming center kind of like, I don't want to say shut down, but, you know, there's a lot of opposition, and, you know, I've heard the testimonies, and the concerns are legitimate concerns and stuff. But I think, I mean, just to me, it's like more of a virtue and less of an opinion of just like, you know, if there's homeless people pooping in your park and your kids play there, like, that sucks, dude, that fucking sucks. And they're leaving needles or something, like, that really sucks. But like, people die like when the warming center's not here. Like, we can talk to people, just like, you know, why are we doing this? Like, do we need a bathroom or something? I went to a homeless task force meeting years ago before I became homeless. I was at the Scorcher still, and I remember it was like an hour meeting, and for the majority of it, they kind of talked about like, well, should we be saying homeless people? Like, what do we call them? Like, what's the political correct term? And even then, it was kind of like, really? Like, we're talking about the vernacular? And that's the thing too, is the homeless demographic doesn't really show up in these things. They're unrepresented. Just the stigma alone, it's really tough. And for people that like, there's old winos that just are always talking about the same job that they got lined up, but they're just like, you need to get a new pair of shoes for it, and they got it. And it's like, they're kind of, seems like they're telling themselves a story, but then never really doing it. And we all just say, like, that's great. When I think the intimacy there, which I lack, would be, Johnny, you've been saying this for the past like 6 months, bro. Like, what's up? Like, I kind of think you're bullshitting, Johnny. I think that is intimacy. That's like what I see lacking. And that's the trick, you know, like, it's this delicate balance of like, it's judging, saying like, hey, I see this in you, but I accept it. I still accept it in you. You know, I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just trying to like, you know, light a fire in your ass that you seem to want lit. Like, talk about it. And the times that I have done it, it's been like just so like lovely. You know, like there might be some stepped on toes or something for a while, but I always get through it.
Shit, are you talking about campsites and the cleanup and shit like that? SHIT, shit, in the campsites, crap, piled up, right? Yeah, that's just obnoxious bullshit. Negligent idiots. Pack it in, pack it out. It's just the time of the year, you know. Summertime, you get a bunch of, you know, the flower children, whatever, coming through, you know, wanderers, you know, bike tramps or backpack tramps or whatever, you know. It's fun to meet different people. With your congenial 70s host. Well, the point I was making earlier was I get to meet different people, new people, you know, all the time. They might become an associate or they just pass her by. Nice to meet you. Have a good day.
Has your perspective changed at all?
A little bit.
How so?
I'm able to look at the problem, like what the big problem is. You know, I mean, there's not enough resources for one in this town.
We took out bridges over some trash.
Well, it's not just trash, Matt. It's a compiled thing. There's people that live in this neighborhood You got cops that live up on that hill right there that actually can hear everything that goes on here all the time. Fights, garbage, garbage is a huge part, fights, people defecating, but they should leave the public bathroom open if they don't want that to happen. The city's kind of at an impasse.
So, Chris, you said the city said this was going to happen.
Yeah, they've known it was going to happen. They've been planning on taking these benches out for a while. So the next option is they put cameras out here that they can look at 24 hours a day. Like when he told me the benches are taken out, I just started laughing. He's like, what? Is it funny? I'm like, yeah, it's fucking funny. I think it's funny. Because they've known for the past couple of years what they're doing out here, and all this stuff right here really reflects really positive on people. The people that live in this community and pay taxes and work and stuff like that, people that live around here, they don't want to see all this. People need a place to hang out, but they need to take care of where they hang out too. Not at all. Every morning, I was sleeping right across the street over the sidewalk. Every morning I get up and I come out here and I'd spend like a half an hour picking up people's trash. And you can hear them like late at night. I'll be down there trying to sleep. You can hear them out here fighting and everything else. And if I could hear it underneath the sidewalk, everybody up on that hill can hear it because it just sound goes right up.
Yeah.
What was your summary of that experience?
I'm glad you asked that. Well, you see, in the old days, if you had I'd have to call a mini fire. They'd cite you for fine. You go in. It's like a court ticket. You go in and pay your $200 and you'd be done with it. But they don't want to do that. They know that you were falsely accused of lighting something serious, which you didn't. I mean, you lit something, but it wasn't anything heavy. I went in prepared to pay the fine, and I was warned by Dave, a good friend of mine. The judge didn't want the fine. The judge wanted you to know enough legal to come in and prepare a trial. So that's what I'm going to do in a month from now.
And she didn't ask for a plea. She didn't ask you to enter
no
a plea.
Yesterday. No, she doesn't want a plea. She wants me to prove that I'm innocent in a trial.
What happens if you're proven guilty?
I don't want to get into that.
That's not good.
No,
Class A misdemeanor.
I don't want to get into that. I don't want to discuss that with you.
Okay.
I don't want to discuss that.
That's illegal. But what was your impression of Judge Matthias?
Very fair. Very fair. I don't want to bias my case. I've got one in mind.
Right. This is a legal matter.
It's a legal matter. I'm not. Yeah.
So, but you are saying that there's a difference between how this is handled now.
The big difference is how it's handled. Instead of going in and pay your fine for a misdemeanor, which it is, in the old days, I had one experience in traffic court that I don't want to give you the details on. Same kind of thing, right? And the way that case was handled is you go to the court, and they cite you, and the fine was $125. So you take the they want to see you in court, and there were about 12 people here today in this other traffic court I was in. There were about 30 people, and you go in, you got the citation, and there's a fine listed on the citation, $125. You go in, and you wait your turn, and there's a bunch of people before you. Now what happened there was, you could, if you didn't have the money, they would let you do communal service. If you had the money, you pay your fine. But there's a kicker there. 3 strikes and you're out. The judge is going to ask you, well, what was the serious circumstance? Well, you were unemployed, and there was a fine on this vehicle. So, how many times has this happened, sir? Once, Your Honor. Twice, Your Honor. 3 strikes and you're serving 30. That's all I want to tell you now. Thanks.
Like if you're advocating, how do you empower people you're working with? What do you
give up a sense of self-worth? That's how you empower people.
Yeah, well, that's a long process.
But you got to give out the trust. The trust has got to be there. You can help some people some way, but if they can't help themselves, there's no helping them. There's no law in this town. Now you want to start making up laws about stuff? Okay, what about the druggies? All the druggies. If you take care of all the druggies, then you wouldn't have to have a law for this town. Then you want to think about. Then you want to think about people is sitting here, is doing stuff. What about the good people? Ain't doing nothing wrong. Don't have felonies. Don't have warrants. but you're still kicking them out of places with sleeping stuff. People, you tell them the people to get jobs. When you get a job, where you supposed to sleep at to stay awake, to go to sleep? I'm awake 24 hours a day, and I work across the street, and I don't even get no sleep. People tell me I look good because I would have 3 hours of sleep, and that's it today. That was it. What you supposed to do? The courtroom wants you to work. That's why these jobs are open. But what about where you put your head at? What do you think about that? I mean, people need to start thinking about that. Put your head somewhere. Build something for these people, for you want the homeless off the streets. Build them a place for them. They were never ever gonna build nothing. Then what they're doing is they're putting a hotel here to run off every homeless person out of town because they want to make this a tour town. There is no impossible way you can run every homeless person out of town because you got people coming out of jail, you got people coming from California, you got people coming from Washington. So how you gonna run every
people who have lived here their whole damn lives?
Yeah, whole life. So how you gonna do something? You're gonna run them out? There's no way you're gonna run them out. Okay, just say like this here, a crab. We'll say like this here, a crab boat. If there's no crabs doing out there, it's not making enough money. They lose their boat, they lose their homes. Everything's on the line for them people. Just like the fishing boat, everything's on the line for them people. They don't think about it. People's got to get out of prison. They're going to come straight here. People come from California. They're going to come straight here. People lose their jobs, and you just can't stop a homeless person to do something. You can't. If you build them homes for them, you wouldn't have this problem downtown. You would still keep a tour town. All you got to do is build homes for them. The city ain't got nothing to do with it. The city ain't nothing. This city is sorry. This is about the sorriest town ever going to be. I can go an hour away from here. Okay, they're faster. I can go an hour away the other way, like you going towards Portland. They're a lot faster. This is the only city is slow. Ain't got nothing for them. Nothing. The only thing they want to do is push out the homeless. And that's what they're trying to do. The only thing they're looking for is for you to roll over and die, get the hell out of their town, or get in trouble. They've been trying to get me in trouble. They've been trying to get me a felony ever since I've been here for 2.5 years.
Hasn't worked.
It ain't gonna work because I'm not gonna get in no trouble. I'm just saying, it's about how you can help yourself. You want to help yourself, you will help yourself. You don't need that help. The bad people, all the bad drugs, all them, they need to go, man, because they're hurting this town. I had one of the officers tell me there is no law. We don't enforce the laws in this town. But here you are, you want to put laws on the homeless. What about the druggies? Is this like me the other day? And you was here. The guy slept right here. Police told me to leave. Me and him to leave. I had to walk around town to stay awake. I got a job. Don't have a felony. Don't have a warrant. Ain't got nothing on my record. Ain't did nothing in this town. Ain't made a cop mad in this town. But here I am. But if I go threaten my life, you think they're going to do anything about that? They'd rather see you dead instead of put you somewhere.
So why are you still here?
I ain't having nobody take care of my dog. Have somebody take care of my dog, I won't be here. It's pretty much is if a white man sleeping here, a nigga gotta leave. You understand now?
Yeah.
So pretty much is why is I'm still here? Because somebody won't take care of my dog. Because they know exactly what I'm going to do if they take care of that dog.
Well, you shouldn't have to leave.
I'm not going to leave. I'm going to go do something I should not do. I don't have the right. I ain't going to never have a right. What I'm going to do is, and I need counseling so bad. I want to kill myself so fucking bad because I don't have no right. I ain't got nothing. So everywhere I put my head at, I get woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. Leave or kill myself. One of them two. Somebody take care of my dog, I wouldn't be around. I would not be here. There's a bridge right there. They can't stop me from doing what I do. I don't even want to be here at all because see, everywhere I go, it's just like they use you more and more and more. I don't want to be here. I didn't want to be in this town. This town is the worst town I ever want to be in. I was here 10 years ago doing fishing and crab. It was cool. Now, I hate this town.
You're not being valued.
They're never going to be valued. Anywhere you go, it's not going to be valued. It doesn't matter where you go. It don't matter.